Hello again, it's Wednesday. We're back with another episode of Bothered. The holidays are nearing, and are you stressed about buying gifts? I certainly am. I'm also stressed about being regifted poorly, and that's what this episode is about. It's a little bit festive. That's why I'm wearing green. Not really. It was a total coincidence. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Thank you for the likes and follows and subscribes and comments. I love all of them, and I love all your emails. Bothered@juliekimcomedy.com. Did that all in one breath. All right, let's go. Hello, it's me, Julie Kim. Welcome to Bothered, my little podcast about being bothered. Every week I share short stories.
Living like this, I might lose it.
They're mostly real situations that have happened to me. You wouldn't believe some of them, or maybe you would. Maybe you can relate.
Living like this, I might lose it.
I'm very behind on my planning for Christmas. I know I have gifts to buy. That are like kind of impossible to make really, really thoughtful. We've got like presents for basically my kids' teachers of like activities and stuff like that, and friends. I think now that my daughter's like in school, my friends and I have stopped like getting gifts for each other's like whole families and things like that. I think we give a little thing to the kids, and then we give like within our families our own like nuclear family and our in-laws and stuff like that. But planning for Christmas this year has reminded me of a lot of bothersome stories and actions that have to do with gifting. And a lot of them have to do with regifting. I mean, are you planning to regift this Christmas? Is it appropriate? Here's what I think. I think that if you're regifting something like alcohol or especially wine, it's like, oh, you have been keeping this bottle of wine for 12 years in a cellar at the right temperature. Like, thank you for making it vintage for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a time and a place for that kind of thing. But by and large, when I've received something that was regifted, I could fucking tell. And I'm going to tell you about one story where we got something regifted, and it was so obvious and so obviously not thoughtful that it actually was offensive. And let me just preface by saying I'm not somebody who really expects gifts. I have not taken or received a lot in my life from people, even when I was dating various men, and even with my husband, I'm like, I'm an independent woman. I can buy things for myself, which is garbage. And I'm trying to get over that because I actually at this point do like presents, but I have not traditionally been buy me a present kind of person. But all right, here's the story. It was our daughter's first birthday. We went back to Toronto where most of our family and friends are. So we had a nice party for her, and also Korean people. My daughter is half Korean, but my husband converted. No, I'm just kidding. We were having a really big birthday party for her, as is customary in like Korean families. So we invited a bunch of people, my friends, my husband's friends, some extended friends. That's just what happens when you have a kid. You're like, well, the world is our community. And then you realize I don't like some of these people. And then you make a smaller community. Anyways, this was a big, big party. And we had told everybody, please come and enjoy. We don't expect gifts. But also we are going to Europe after this trip. So if you do bring something, thank you in advance, but please make it very small because we cannot travel to Europe and then back home to Vancouver with gifts. Some people didn't bring gifts, and that is okay. Some people gave cash, and that's the fucking best, I have to say. I love cash. People say that it's a Asian thing to accept cash, but I know a lot of people from a lot of cultures and different backgrounds who really, really fucking love cash. But again, I don't expect anything. And then some people bought nice, thoughtful presents. And one fucking set of guests brought a giant gift bag. And when we opened it, we found a motley crew, a potpourri of various loose gifts in the bag that were clearly meant for a garage sale or something. Like, this was all used shit, okay? And let me describe what these were. One giant fucking stuffed animal. And I mean giant, like, I think it was as big as my torso and head, okay? And it wasn't pretty. It was like a bright pink. I think it was one at a carnival, that kind of thing. And then just like random toys that have nothing to do with my daughter's then age or gender or interests or anything like that. So these otherwise nice people who are a standard couple with children, they live in the suburbs, they have, a normal life. They came and they brought basically, it seems, whatever they could find in their fucking basement, which is like one thing, but we had specifically said like, we can't bring anything home. So just please keep that in mind. And they kept that out of mind. And we just remember that as being like a fucking weird situation and a little bit offensive, because it's like, what am I, 1-800-GOT-JUNK? Like, now I have to dispose of the stuff that was sitting in your basement the whole time. It's okay to bring nothing. We said to bring nothing, but it was a little bit offensive to us. I mean, enough so that I'm talking about it on this podcast. And like, look, that's just like one example of times that I've been regifted things. One time I had a friend and he had a new girlfriend, and she came over and she gave me a present for Christmas, which is kind of nice. And I think I gave her something too, just like a small thing. And when I opened it, I saw that it was like there was no stickers or tags on it. It was this like black candle display. I think the word votive, VOTIV or F is the word for it. Fuck, this is just to show you that this is an off the cuff podcast and I don't research things like spelling or meaning of some words. But anyways, it was like a display of candles and it was black and it didn't have any tags on it. And also it was like chipped. So my suspicion was that it was regifted, and I actually also didn't like it. And I had other things, and I'm a little bit accident prone, so I really should not be allowed to have real candles. I'm actually not surprised, but I'm laughing at the fact that I did this. But a few days later, I said, thanks so much. We'll call her nothing. I'm not going to call her anything. I'm going to say, thank you so much. I don't know if I will use this. Do you happen to have a gift receipt? I am such a shit, everybody. I mean, like, I pretty much suspected that she gave me one of her used items, and I was like, do you have a gift receipt? Usually when someone gives you something and they're like, really earnest about you liking it or whatever, they're like, if you don't like it, I have the receipt, or I have the gift receipt. Or in the most ideal of, I guess, high level etiquette circumstances, they will put the gift receipt in the card, as we have done many times. But I actually just said, oh, do you happen to have a gift receipt? Maybe I could get something that's a little suited more to my style. But I think I was also just saying, did you fucking regift this? Did you give me one of your used, scratched, shitty Kitchen Stuff Plus, that's a Toronto reference, candle things that you bought 4 years ago and don't use anymore? And she said, oh, sorry, I don't have a gift receipt. That's all she said. Nothing like, oh, can I give you something else from my home that I fucking hate? I can undust this toilet brush or something like that. She just said no, and then I fucking left it at that. But I did feel like it was a little bit offensive. Have I ever regifted? I think I have. I think I have regifted things, but I think I regift. Okay, the worst case of me ever regifting anything ever was when I was little and we went to the mall and my sister had bought me this like really neat thing. It was like a little glass aquarium display that didn't have fish in it, but it had like these nice, it was Asian, like little, I don't know, figures and filled with little rocks. And then family friends came over for Christmas, and then I didn't have anything for them. So I was like, here, you can have this. It's one of the worst things I've ever done. I mean, I know I was just a child, but it was horrible, and it must have been very hurtful to my sibling. But there you have it. That's what I did when I was like, I don't know, maybe 12 years old. What a horrible thing to do. Since then, I don't think I've regifted anything super blatantly. Maybe I think this is where I have maybe regifted, like when I've got like a box of cookies or something really nice that I've received for Christmas. I know I'm not going to eat them. I might provide it as a bonus present, as in a present on top of a present that I actually bought. Or like if somebody spare comes to a party, I'm like, please have this. Because especially when it comes to children, I hate when children come somewhere and they don't get something or they're left out. One time a friend of ours came to my daughter's birthday party, and their nieces and nephews were in town, or their niece was in town. I was like, yeah, sure, bring them. And then I realized, oh my God, I don't have an extra gift bag for this child. And I did not want this child at all to feel left out. So I scrounged and I kind of like took from other things so that this child had a gift bag. I guess that means I have issues, but I certainly have feelings about gifting and regifting. Anyways, I hope this doesn't happen to me anymore. I don't know. What do you think? Do you regift? Do you think regifting's okay? When is it okay? When is it not okay? Would you rather just like not have anything? I think I'd rather not have anything in this world of not having stuff. Not having stuff is nice. It's the minimalist aesthetic that I will never achieve because I am actually a bit of a hoarder. But I still don't want your used shit. So that's how I'll end this podcast, by saying, don't give me your used shit. But I do have new merch available on my website, juliekimcomedy.com. And I wish you a great week and good luck preparing for Christmas. Next week's episode is going to be super hot. We've got a great topic, especially if you're a woman or a mom. Stay tuned. Bye. Thanks again for listening to this week's episode of Bothered. I've got more shows announced. I've got a great Christmas episode coming up next week. Please, please, please remind yourself to listen by doing the following. You can like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. You can get on my mailing list and I will send you a reminder. Anyways, I've got a bunch of shows coming up. I'm in Philly on December the 11th, and a bunch of shows in the US and Canada in the new year. I will not list them all off, but go to juliekimcomedy.com/shows. I hope you are doing well with all of the holiday planning. I am not. Have a nice week.
Living like this, I might lose it.